Coaches, how are we? Hopefully, you are having a better day than I'm having. A little bit sick, so I'm not sure how this is going to work out with the content, but we'll persevere. Now, one thing that a lot of coaches just fail to do effectively is track their leads. And today, I'm going to be showing you a really effective system that you can use to track your leads to turn cold prospects into actual warm prospects and eventually clients, but also a system that you can just plug and play into your business and stop using whatever spreadsheet you're currently using, or even if it's just your DMs. So today we're essentially going to be set up a lead tracker for you. Start to finish, we'll give it to you. You'll basically click a button and you'll be ready to go inside your business. And yeah, just a little teaser of what's going on. So if you are like I was when I was a coach and you feel like you're always hunting for your next lead, that's what we're going to be talking about today and getting that problem solved. So before we get into the actual lead tracker, and don't worry, there won't be much of a setup because you'll click a button and you'll just be able to integrate it into your business. You can do it for free as well. It doesn't even have to be a paid software that you use. But before we get into that, we first need to understand the fundamentals of like why your lead tracking process right now is costing you clients, why potential clients are ghosting you, and all the other mistakes that we're making in between. So let's get into the content now, and we'll see where we're making some mistakes and how we can fix that immediately. So if you are like I was when I started coaching, I felt like I was always searching for a new lead. Like I'd post on Instagram, you'd be refreshing the inbox on any messages, anybody messaging, inquiring, or anything like that. And there was just no process. And it felt like every time that I got a new lead, I wasn't really sure how that happened or how I could actually make that repeatable and kind of do that again. So I figured, there has to be a better way. And a lot of the time with coaches, they think that they have a lead issue, but it's not actually a lead issue. It's more of a systems problem where if you can fix the systems problem around the lead tracking, we're going to find it so much easier because you really have to understand this, that your DMs are not a pipeline. Your DMs are not a lead tracker. You need a better system set up. Simply having the person's name who you sent a message to on a sheet of paper or just in your Instagram DMs isn't enough. We need to know when we message them, what we said to them, what stage of the pipeline they're at. Have they downloaded any lead magnets? Um, have they filled out a coaching application? Where exactly are they along that journey? How many times have they been contacted? All these different things. We want to try to track as much data as possible, as easily as possible, so that it's not going to be a massive headache for you to be trying to track all this kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to kind of dive into now today. And with this, like I said, it's going to be completely plug and play. But one thing that I will need you to get is just we're going to get you to download Airtable. It will be a completely free account. Once you go click on the resource to get it, it will have it set up for you. It's all good to go, but you will have to download Airtable. But one of the things that we will be doing is tracking all this kind of stuff automatically. So this is the general kind of stuff that we use when we build lead trackers inside Airtable. The reason we use Airtable is just because of the functionality and how it integrates with other softwares. But we can set it up so that we're tracking the lead source, the stage of the pipeline, what resources they've been sent, the time that we've spent as a lead. So knowing how long it will actually take for that lead to convert over time, that's a really nice one to know. We will then know like the show rate, the close rate, the close time, how long it took. We will know revenue data, like how much we actually sold versus how much we actually contracted, and we'll see the percentage in between. And then we will see AI call summaries and AI training prompts, all that kind of stuff as well. If you watch my last video, you'll know how to set that up. And then we can set up some automatic reminders for us to follow up with those prospects as well, all depending on what your general kind of process is or your setter's process or whatever way you're kind of running it. But when we do all that, it gives us really nice data like this where we can actually see like from month to month how many leads came in, what the show rate was, the close rate, what the average customer spend was. All of this data can then be used in the future to be like, hey, well, we got 100 leads in this month. We generally convert about 5% of them. We need to increase the amount of leads that we're getting in, or we have loads of calls booked based on our show rate, our close rate, and our average customer spend. We should be expecting roughly X amount of revenue. And, that gives us a lot of security and ease then when it comes to knowing that, right? we are actually okay this month for new sales. So to get the lead tracker that I'm going to be using, the base setup, if you scan that there with your phone as you're watching this video, that'll bring you to my Instagram profile. Then, if you click the link in my bio, you will see a link to the lead tracker. You can just click on it there. You'll be able to download it. It will just copy it over to your Airtable account for free. If you don't have an Airtable account, it will just get you to set one up for free. And then you will copy it over. And then you will be starting at the exact same place as I'm starting when I go create all of these little kind of tutorials and everything like that. So, if you haven't done that yet, go do it now before you forget and you're trying to find the link. And yeah, while you're on Instagram, maybe follow, might do you some good. But let's get into it. Let's go open up our lead tracker now and we will get the ball rolling. So inside Airtable, once you click the button to go get it set up, this is what you will have in front of you then. You will have this Airtable base set up with all this little sample data in there, John Doe with his sample email addresses, and we have all of these different views on the left-hand side. So if you're not familiar with Airtable, imagine Airtable is like if you had Google Sheets and you had Trello and you kind of mix them together to create one really good software. That's what this is. And we can essentially set it up in lots of different ways where we can view stuff as like board style views, we can have gallery style views, we can have like timeline views. But this is generally the most user friendly and easiest way to start using it for yourself. So we currently have one board set up inside here, the lead management board, and we have all these different views on the left hand side. So we have all leads, we have the lead process, funnel stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, upcoming calls, and then a follow up list. So first, we're going to go through all the different data that's available. Then we will go through the different views, how you would use the different views. And then we'll go over some general practices about like what you should do in terms of using this and keeping it up to date. And then also we will run through some automations for external automations, like integrating stuff like people opting in for your lead magnets and getting it tagged to the profile. And we'll also run through some internal automations that you could use then as well with stuff like automated AI sales training, added into your lead tracker as well, so that you can just kind of build it as you go. But as of right now, it is like functional. You click on it, you can be tracking it here. It has some stuff built in where it will track better than Google Sheets and everything. But let's go explore it and see what's going on. So on the tab here, all leads, we have all the different fields visible here. So if we scroll across, there's a lot of data that would be visible. What I'm going to do now is just for this, because you're watching on a replay, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit on this and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I feel like it might be a little bit hard to see otherwise. Okay, so that's fine. So on the left-hand side here, we have all leads. We have all of these different fields, like all these different columns, like a Google spreadsheet, and we have a lot of different data inside there. But what we'll do now is we'll just open up one of these and I'll walk you through the data, what they are. If you need to fast forward, feel free to do so. So the first one is, self-explanatory. You have like all the contact details. So you have the first name, the last name, the email address, Instagram handle, a profile link if you have a link to like their Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, a chat link if you have a link to the actual chat. That would be really important later on. If you decide to use something like ManyChat, we can actually get them into here from ManyChat and we can populate these things like a link to their profile, the chat link, and stuff like that. So we'd actually be able to visually see the Instagram profile as well. It's really cool. We have a little tick box here for when it comes to the messages that you said, whether they responded to it or not. We have a section here for any conversational notes. Like let's say if you're chatting with me on the inbox, I might say, yeah, I'm currently training for a marathon there. This is the one that I'm training for. You might note that down. So then in further conversations, when you want to open up that chat again, you might ask how the marathon training is going, and you'll be able to continue from there. So conversational notes, important, keep it there. Then we have a source one. So we have like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, SEO. So just generally wherever that lead came from, we want to try to track that. It's not as important right now at the start, but it will be very important later on when it comes to reviewing data. We then have the stage. So this is to do like, where are they in the pipeline? So are they a new follower? Are they just a possible prospect? Have they opted in for a lead magnet? Have you started the conversation? Have they completed an audit? Did you send them an audit? Have you offered them a call? Have they booked a call? Have they closed a call? Not closed, didn't show, a follow-up needed, qualified out? Are they a past client? Did they cancel a call? There's lots of different stages that they could be in the process. Then we have our resources given. So this is where we would have, let's say, our lead magnets. So this person might have downloaded the training plan, but they could have also got the recipe book. They could have also got the fat loss guide and maybe the sleep guide as well. And we can automate the tagging of this as well, which I walk through with you. We then have the next contact date. So anytime that somebody maybe downloads a lead magnet, you want to contact them maybe the following day to see how they got on with the lead magnet. If they fill in, let's say, a coaching application or book a call, we might want to contact them that day. So we can set up some automations to update the next contact date. Or if you're just in a conversation with somebody, you're like, hey, I'm going to go follow up with this guy here next week. So you're like, yeah, it's next week. I'm going to follow up with him there on the 11th. That's cool. Then when they book a call, we can get it where it'll automatically update the date of the call so that you'll know, hey, on this date they are booked in for a call. And then any pre-call notes that you want to have inside there. So they might have filled in a coaching application. You might want to have some notes inside there. This part, it won't be useful until later on, but just leave it there for a later video. We'll show you how to set that up. Same with the client list. Then we have just a quick formula to grab whatever the month of the call was and the same the month of when the lead was created. And then we want to grab the revenue collected versus revenue sold. So we basically, when we have the sales call and we get the sale, we want to track how much we're actually collecting versus how much we're actually contracting. Because if we can see the relationship between the two of them, it will give us great data then in the future. If we know that we have 10 sales calls booked in, we have the show rate, the close rate, and then we have the average customer spend. So what they generally sign up for as the upfront, we'll be able to see how much is going to be collected upfront and then how much is going to be contracted. And then you'll see the percentage calculated there. So if I change this to 6,000, we'll see there it's 75%, but if I change that to 2,000, this should go down to 25%. There we see. Then we have the call AI summary and the AI transcript, part 1 to 4, and the sales trainer recommendation. So if you watch my previous video, you will see a step-by-step on how to set that up. But basically, we can go get the AI transcript of the calls, the AI summary to be populated inside here. And then we click one button and then it goes and it gets ChatGPT to create AI sales recommendations for us. And then we have these other two fields here. Just when was this lead created? So when was it put in here? So it'll automatically tag it. And then the last time that anything changed on here for them, it will tag it then as well. So it'll update a timestamp. And then when we get the close, then it will set up the actual conversion date. And then that will track the difference between the lead creation date and the conversion date and tell us a number of days. So then we can see, hey, it takes roughly X amount of time for a person to come into our pipeline to actually convert. And then that will give us some valuable data. So that's all the different data points that we have on these leads. I know, very exciting. But from there, we're able to see then if we have like a spreadsheet view, we're able to see all the different leads, where they are in the process. If I zoom out now, it will look a little bit nicer, but we will be able to see a lead process then as well, where we're like, right, current new followers, so maybe get in contact with all these new people, possible prospects, here, get in contact with them. People here have opted in for a lead magnet, maybe contact them. This is the active conversations you have going. Try to maybe get them to complete an audit. If you sent the audit, maybe follow up if they haven't actually completed the audit. We can show you how to set it up where once they complete the audit, you'll automatically update them in the timeline as well. People who have completed the audit, have you offered them a call? People you offered a call and they haven't actually booked a call, let's maybe go follow up with them. When they book a call, again, I'll show you the automation that you would set up to go automatically update them from there as well. And then the people who closed, we have a list of them here. How much did they close for? All that kind of stuff. Then we have the not closed, the no shows, the follow-up needed, qualified out, the past clients, and call canceled. So we can set some of that up to be automatic, where it's just, once an event happens, like they book a call or they cancel a call on Calendly, or some of it's going to be manual, where it's like, hey, we had the call and we closed, you drag them into closed, and we write down how much we actually sold for. So if we go into this person here, we know that they're closed and we, let's say, collected 5,000 but contracted 8,000 with them. Perfect. We know we got a 63%. And then we can see that they were marked as a show and they were marked as a close. So that will help us with the close rate and the show rate. Then you can use that pipeline whatever way you want. You can click into the details. You can go add more stuff. You can decide what is visible, what is not visible. So we have this customized part up here. So you could say, yeah, I actually want to see the person's email address. If it's there, it will show it. Or you might want to say, I want to see what resources they were given. And you'll see it there. Or any other information that we have, you can decide whether you want to show it or not show it. Then we have the 3 funnel stages. So the reason I set them up in 3 funnel stages is an easy way to think about the lead tracking process is The people who are just kind of problem aware and are starting to get solution aware, where they're like downloading micro lead magnets, they're maybe opting into smaller lead magnets, they're maybe interacting with your content a little bit, but they're not like hands up like, hey, I'm interested, I'm a warm lead. So anybody at this stage, this would be stuff like, people who are new followers, possible prospects, they've opted in for some lead magnets, and you might have started a conversation with them yet. They're not really a warm lead. As soon as they are a warm lead, that might be somebody who has been sent an audit to go complete, they completed an audit, or they were offered a call. And then somebody who is a very warm lead that we want to go take action on pretty much straight away is the people who are in funnel stage 3. So this is anybody who is call booked, call closed, not closed, they were a no-show, or they were a follow-up needed. This is stuff where we want to kind of take action on straight away. So it's the very kind of sales part. So the goal is to get as many people as you can into funnel stage 1, 2, and 3, and basically push them through that way. If you want to set up some more advanced automations and kind of lead generation systems, we can set up some where is almost a different pipeline for each of them. It's a different funnel where once they go in there, they might have a different type of a resource or a lead magnet, and then we can qualify them at each of the stages. So let's say somebody messages us and they want to jump on a call straight away, but in the coaching application, we see that they're not in a position to invest just yet. Might not be a good idea to take the call. So maybe we redirect them to an interactive lead magnet, which will then give them more value and help them hopefully be in a better position. And then once they're in a better position, then again maybe they book the call. But it's a way of kind of redirecting them rather than just shutting off the lead straight away just because they're not ready to buy right now. Then anybody who books a call, we have a list of upcoming calls, so we can see here who are the upcoming calls, and then we have a follow-up list. So this is like your contact list. If you're ever like, who do I need to contact, this is your list to go to, and we can set it up to customize it now for your liking, to be like, hey, I just want to see where they're from, how to contact them, if they had a call, if they didn't have a call, all that kind of stuff. And I'll show you how to set up some new lists. Now, let me just go over some of the automations that you might want to set up, some external ones and how you would set it up, and then also some internal ones. And then we'll actually go set up some right now because I think it would be good for you to see. So if we say about external automations, we are talking about any of the ones that we're going to be using Zapier for. So Zapier is going to be your lifesaver when it comes to automating your business. It is amazing. And if you haven't got it already, go set it up. It's super cheap, and for the functionality it has, it's amazing. Now, some of the things that you might want to set up is where we have a lead magnet, and when they opt in, that they get added to your lead tracker, and then from there they get tagged so that let's say if I opt in for 5 different lead magnets of yours, I want to know like what 5 lead magnets this person was opted in for, when they opted in, so that you could contact them and be like, hey, yeah, I know you have the fat loss guide and the calorie calculator. Have you put them together? Have you started using it? And start that conversation from there. Then if you want to, let's say, retarget all the people who downloaded a specific lead magnet, and you want to do it like manually on Instagram, where we're like bridging that gap between email and Instagram, you'll be able to filter it then to just show you all the people who've downloaded specific lead magnets, and then go do that then as well. Then the next thing that you might want is if you have an interactive lead magnet or like an audit, like for me, I use the systems audit. So that's like my interactive lead magnet. And what that does is essentially, it's a more in-depth lead magnet where they're already kind of solution aware. They know that like you can help them solve the problem, but they want to get a bit more trust built first. So you're giving them a lot more value, and that something like an interactive lead magnet or an audit is going to do that. So you might want it to automatically update them inside Airtable or add them there if they're not already there, and then get their results from the audit and add it to their profile inside there. So if you decide to go follow up with them, you have all the notes that you had taken, you had all the lead magnets that they downloaded, and you have their results for their interactive lead magnet. Then the same with the coaching application. If that's a story, we want to update them inside Airtable as well. And then if they book a call or cancel a call, we want to update them as well. So the way you would go about that is the first one, if we wanted a lead magnet opt-in, you would use something simple like get Zapier to get the opt-in form from Webflow. And then we would add or update them inside Airtable, and then we would give them the tag of whatever the lead magnet that is, and then set the timer to contact them as, let's say, tomorrow or something. And then you would do that for each of the different lead magnets that you have. So if you download any of my tutorials or anything like that, it basically adds your contact, adds a lead magnet to it, and then I know who has downloaded what day, and then it sets a contact time if there is going to be a contact time based off the lead magnet. If you wanted to do the same then with interactive, It would be someone, let's say, like a Typeform response. Zapier would then go find the person in Airtable, update them, and then from there it will go tag them with the audit results, so that you can see like, hey, I see you completed the audit, you got 25 out of 100. Here's some tips that I will give you based off that, and then you can go start up that conversation again. Then, if you wanted to do something like the coaching application, it could be like Typeform response, update them inside Airtable, tag them with the application details, and move them into the right list, and then you could offer them the call from there. But then it should notify you, let's say, straight away on something like WhatsApp or email, or if you want to set up a separate notification board in Airtable like I do, you can have it where it actually notifies you. So I only have one app on my phone that has notifications, and that's Airtable. Anything important just gets sent there and it notifies me. So I don't have like all random Instagram notifications, WhatsApp, email. It's just one place for notifications, and that's it. And then if you wanted to do it for the call, you would basically do the same thing. So any new call event, update Airtable, tag them with call book to move them to the right list, and then from there notify you, and then the same with call cancellation as well. So that is some external notifications that I will go set up if I were you, just obviously to customize it to your business. And then we have some internal notifications. So internal notifications would be something like, hey, once a month you might want to set it up where it will go look at all the people who are in the list follow up and go change them to monthly call follow up and put them in a list or something like that, where once a month you will go reoffer all the people that you offered the coaching as let's say a monthly package or something like that. So if you had 10 people who didn't close, you would have 10 people who go reoffer at the end of the month. You might want to set up one where it preps sales call notes. So if you are having sales calls, you could set up an automation where 24 hours before that, it will go send all the information that's on Airtable off to Zapier. Zapier could go get AI to look at it, create almost like a sales report or a sales script for that client, and then go get it, paste it back onto their Airtable profile. So when you click on the actual card, you would then see like, right, we're on the call. Here's all my notes about you. Here's my kind of sales script, and it inputs your details to match in. And then you could do something like the time to convert. So I'll show that live now as well, and we will go set that up. So let's go set up some automations, and I'm not going to go into the Zapier side of things just because that would be a whole different video and it would have to be really specific to your account. But we will go into some Airtable automations now, and I'll show you how to set some of them up. So quick break. Let's go set up the first automation, which is going to be to add the time to convert. So always name your automations with the intention of what it's supposed to do, just because it's so much easier when you go back to edit. So so I just want this to tag the converted time. So that makes sense in my head. Hopefully it makes sense in yours. So what we want is when a record matches the conditions in the lead management board, the conditions are when the stage is, we want to see closed. Okay, so when the stage is closed, we then have to choose a record. So we'll say choose any of the records. If none of them match the details, you just have to go in, edit one of the records, and then it'll make it match the details. So we choose one. That's cool. And then now next step is we're just going to update. So we're going to say update record, select table, that one, and then the record ID. So we're going to click the plus and we're going to use this one here, Airtable record ID. So that is from the previous step. That is the one that we want to update. And then what we want to do is choose the fields. We want to scroll down until we see the conversion date. And then if we click on it here, it's asking us to like set the date manually. We don't want that. We want it to be a dynamic one. So we're going to set here as dynamic, and then we're going to say specified time, so actual runtime. So then that will set it as the date of when that automation was triggered. So what we'll do is we'll say generate preview. It's fine. All right, and we'll turn this on. We'll go back to data, and we will go pick a person. So we will go back to all leads, and we'll just pick this person here at random. So if I scroll to the bottom, conversion date right now is empty. So we want to try to get that to populate. So we'll turn this to closed. And then we can see here that it updated the date as today. So it is currently the 4th of June. Oh my God. And it automatically updated there. So we can see that they were created on this date and then they were converted on this date. So it took 55 days for that client to convert. But when we set that stuff up, it then gives us the ability to have data like this for our business. And you'll have this as well. You just click on the interface, it's set up there for you as well. So we can see all the active leads, the calls booked, stage one, stage two, stage three, who's there. If you click on it, you can actually see who they are, which is really cool. Then we can scroll down and we have it mapped per month. So we can see the amount of calls booked, the show rate, the closes, the close rate, the cash collected, the cash contracted, the percentage of that, and the days to convert. We can then see where all our leads came from. So what source they came from versus the source that actually closed, because that's a very different thing. So if we go, I can change the data if none of them are going to match. Here we go. So this is a really good example. You might see here that we got 50% of our leads that month from SEO. You're like, hey, I should probably double down on my SEO. It makes sense. I'm getting more leads. But when we actually look at the data, all of the sales that we got that month came directly from Facebook. So even though Facebook is generating less leads, we should still focus more on Facebook. And then that will be the good data to go off. So when you start using the lead tracker for yourself and import your own details, obviously these will update. But yeah, you have all of that data then to go off on your business. And then if you want to go edit any of this, click up here. We have the edit pages. And then we can go add or take away any different data that we want from there. You could duplicate this and start messing around with more interface numbers and things. If you want to leave it the way it is, you don't want to mess with it, just press done and you don't need to do anything. To get back to our lead tracker then, we just click view data or press Alt 2. I won't press Alt 2 right now because that's linked to another program I have running. But here is that all set up. So let's go through this now. We'll go customize this and just create a little bit differently about the different views. And yeah, I mean, like right now it's ready to use. You could work away, but I think we can make this a lot better. So let's go customize this. In the follow-up list, we might only want to see some specific details for the client. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit. If we view it like that, it's good, but we don't really need to see every single detail going on here. So for the follow-up list, we only want to see people who have, let's say, the tag follow-up needed. So we're going to click here. We're going to add a filter, add a condition. I'll zoom in for this part so you can see. So the condition is that the stage is, you could say, is any of, and then you select. So we only want to see the people who didn't close, the people who didn't show, and the people where it says follow-up needed. Okay, and then if I zoom out here now again, that's a little bit easier to see. All right, now we might want to see all of their details. So we're like, right, we don't need full name, first name, last name, and then email address. So we'll go up here to hide fields. So we'll click the toggle switch on that. If you want, you can just say hide all, and we will go from there. So all of these people would have had calls already. So you might want to see the stage that they were at. You would want to see any AI call summaries because that would tell us like the outcome of the call. If you wanted, you could put in something like maybe payment plan offered or something like that. So you could see, hey, they were offered this price plan, they were offered the monthly, they were offered the split and they refused, or this was their objection or whatever. But we'll have the AI summary of that. And then any other information that you would like to see for that follow-up list, like maybe contact details. So like, right, there's their email, there's their Instagram, cool. Or there is the chat profile so that you could follow up directly or have your VA follow up directly or whatever it is, or if you wanted any conversational notes available. Then what you might want to do is you're like, right, this is a little bit all over the place though. I'm like, I don't know who to follow up with when. You could have the other stage here where we have the next contact date. So we should always have a next contact date for a lead. So I'll just go set some random ones here. Okay, and then you might want to sort them by the next contact date so you know who you need to contact first. So we would see here that these people need to be contacted. Or you might also want to group them by the stage. So you might want to see, right, here's all the people who didn't close, here's all the people who didn't show up, here's all the people who I need to follow up with, and view them that way then as well. So we can use the hiding the fields, the filtering, and the sorting to make it a lot easier when it comes to mass follow up then as well. Then let's go set up another automation for us now where we could try to think what would be a really simple one that we could do without needing to use any advanced app scripts or anything. You know what? I don't think I will set up that one. I think I'll leave that one for a separate video because I think I could go into more in depth. I was going to show you basically how to set up an automation that as soon as it becomes a certain date of the month that it will go find all the people inside a specific list and then you'll go update the next contact date for them and then pull all the details into here as well. So I think that'll be a separate video because I think that will be really, really useful. Then let's go add in some extra fields. So we're like, right, we like what we're seeing here, but it would be cool if we could see what was offered to them on the actual call. So what we might want to do is add in another field. So we'd say single select. So we'll use a single select field and then we'll call this payment plan offered. Okay, and then do. All right. Cool. So you might want to set that. So then anybody who didn't close, if you're like, right, he was paying full, he was paying full, he was paying full, and he was paying full. This fella was a split, and this fella was a monthly. Anybody who didn't close like that, and you're like, oh, okay, these people I should probably follow up with. He was offered with paying full. This time now, I'm going to go offer him monthly. So you just click monthly, and then you could go set the next contact date. It's like if you don't hear back from him, I'm going to follow up with him there again next week or tomorrow or whatever it is. Set the date, and then that will move it on the list. And yeah, there you go. So that is a basic lead tracker that you can set up. It's really simple to use. It's pretty much just plug and play. You just go click that button and it's already set up for you. Now there are some like really advanced automations that you could do inside there, and I think one of the most useful ones would probably be to start to get the call summaries populated on there as well. So if I go here and show you these, so if we go back set up anything to do with like lead magnets and call books and coaching applications to automatically populate on your lead tracker if you can. But if you go to my previous video, this is going to show you how to set up the AI sales trainer, and it will basically give you feedback on your sales calls to say, hey, this is what you did well, this is what you could have done better. But if you go implement that, you don't even have to do the sales trainer part, but even just the AI summaries using Fathom to go populate on top of the lead tracker, you'll then be able to see, right, this is the lead, this is the sales call I had, this is what they said. They said they were going to follow up with me about X, Y, and Z at this stage. You know, you're never going to forget again. Nobody is slipping through the cracks. It's all there in front of you. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you actually go set this up and use it. And if you haven't downloaded it already, go there, scan this and download it and put it to good use. And as always, if you have any questions, just pop me a message. And yeah, hope that helped.